Welcome to the second Year 8 lesson for division. In this lesson I'm learning to express remainders as decimals. Now before you start this lesson you should be really familiar with all the division lessons that we looked at in Year 7. Let's start with this question here. 95 divided by 4. So we're going to start just like we did with the Year 7 lessons. I'm thinking of a big tidy number that I can share out. And that big tidy number needs to be on my 4 times tables. So I could choose 40, but a better choice would be 80. Now if I share out 80, that means I'm still going to have 15 left over. But I can't share 15 evenly between 4 groups. So I'm thinking, what number is just below 15 but on my 4 times tables? Well, I could share out 12. So now I've shared out 80 and 12, which means I'll have shared out 92, which means I'll still have 3 more objects to share out. So let's start with this group of 80. I need to share these 80 objects into 4 groups, which means I need to put 20 objects in every group. Now we'll move over to the pile of 12. I've got 12 objects which I need to share between 4 groups, which means I'll need to put 3 in each group. So far I've put 20 objects in each group and another 3, so I've put 23 objects in each group. So I can write that up here. Now you can see I've still got these 3 objects to share out. Now that's not enough objects to put 1 in every group, because I've got 4 groups over here. We can imagine that like this. Here are my 4 groups. And these can be my 3 objects. Now I like to imagine it like that. I could do this. I could put 1 in this group, 1 in this group, 1 in this group. So that means I'll have put 1 in 3/4 of all the groups. See how there's 4 groups in total, but only 3 of them will have an object in them. So now I think to myself, what is 3/4 as a decimal? Well, I know 3/4 is 0.75. So now I can add that to my answer. 23 plus 0.75 equals 20.75. So that means if I had 95 objects which needed to be shared between 4 groups, I could put 23 objects in every group. And if I had an object that could be split up, I could put 0.75 in every group. If I didn't have an object that could be split up easily, like maybe I was sharing out TVs between 4 boxes, it would mean I could put a whole TV in 0.75 of all the boxes. Let's try another question. This time I've got 98 objects which I want to share between 3 groups. So I start the same way. I'm looking for a big tidy number which I can share out, a number which is on my 3 times tables. 30 is a little bit small, 60 is better, but better than both of those is 90. Now if I share out 90, I've got 8 objects left over, but I can't share out 8 evenly, so I'm thinking of a number which is on my 3 times tables and a little bit less than 8. Well, I could share out 6, which would mean I've then got 2 more left to share out. So I'm going to start by sharing out this 90. If I have 90 objects which I need to share into 3 groups, that would mean I'd need to put 30 objects in every group. Now moving on to my pile of 6. 6 objects which I'm sharing between 3 groups means I'd need to put 2 in every group. So far I've put 30 in each group, then I put 2 more in every group, so in total I've put 32 objects in every group. Now the question says we've got 3 groups, and you can see I've got 2 objects left over. We can imagine those up here. So I could do that. I could put 1 object in this group, 1 object in this group. So that means this group is full, but not this one. So you can see I've put 1 in 2/3 of the groups. There were 3 groups, and I was able to put an object in 2 of them. Now I know 2/3 is the same as 0.667 to 3 decimal places. So now I can add that to my answer. 32 plus 0.667 is 32.667. So that means if I had 98 objects which I had to share between 3 groups, I could put 32 whole objects in every group, and then I could either put another hole in 2/3 of the groups, which is 0.667, or if I had an object that could be split up, like litres of water, I could put 0.667 in each of the 3 groups. Let's think about the important things to remember from this lesson. Well, if you found this part here confusing, then you need to go back and have a look at the Year 7 lessons, because it's really just the same as those. The bit that is different is that we're showing these remainders as a decimal. So to do that, you have to be able to change fractions into decimals. Now if you're about to start the activity sheet that goes with this lesson, you'll find there's a conversion table that helps you do that. You can find the activity sheet that goes with this lesson in the Teacher Tools Multiplication and Division book from the White Book collection.